In this video, I'll show you how I converted my minivan into a tiny camper. All of the materials were obtained from Home Depot or Amazon and were made with only simple woodworking tools and techniques. Oh, and also a sewing machine. This video is about how I made it rather than how I use it, and I'll show you how all of the pieces fit together. This is my 2004 Honda Odyssey. Although this is a fairly old vehicle with a lot of miles, I've taken great care of it, so I think it's got a lot of life left. So the first thing to do on this build is to take out the seats and prepare a floor. This is 3/4 inch maple plywood with some vinyl plank flooring attached on top of it. In this build, it serves the purpose of being an attachment point for all of the additional hard parts that I've installed. Another feature for attaching parts is this piece right here. The third row seat attached to an anchor point in the van here, and onto that I've screwed this, or bolted rather, this 2x4, and that serves as an attachment point for the bed frame. One of the theories behind this build is that all of the installed parts, they all somehow connect to all the other parts, and the beauty of that is that nothing moves around. Here's what it looks like with the storage shelf unit and the bed frame installed. So the bed frame is attached to this 2x4 support, and it's also attached to the floor at those points there and there. Similarly, the shelf unit is attached down here to this 2x4, and it's also attached at the corner, and there's another bolt attachment into the floor right there. So both of these two pieces are attached to both the structural hard part of the van and to the floor. So this is what it looks like with the bed couch platform in. So from the back, this rear panel allows access to all of this storage down below. The back part of the bed platform is attached to the bed frame here and here. This back panel is actually two panels because this panel has a width equal to one of the cushions, so when this door flips up, the cushion back is accommodated for. All of these parts, the bed frame, the platform, the shelf unit, and the sink unit, this is all that's required to install and remove those. Just a screwdriver and one wrench. So the way the platform converts from couch mode to bed mode is I simply lift up on this. There are two support legs to fold down, and then it's a full twin size mattress platform. So I'm going to put this back for the moment. Hard parts are attached to the floor by using T-nuts, which is a nut that sinks into the underside of the plywood base, and then I can screw a bolt down from the top to lock it to the floor. The sink cabinet is attached to the floor around the base, and it's attached to the shelf unit along the sides. So here's what it looks like with all the cushions in place. These cushions are a twin size mattress. I cut it into 4 equal sections, and I had some leftover upholstery fabric from a dining room project that never materialized years ago, so I was able to use that in this project. For all of you baby boomers out there who remember middle school home ec class in the 70s, I did learn to sew, and it has served me several times. So this was a very satisfying construction. So I'm going to fold the platform down one more time to show you how it looks when it's all folded flat with the bed cushions in place. So down here I have 2.5 gallons each of freshwater and gray water drain. This is powered by this little 12-volt pump. This thing is amazing. It's the size of a golf ball and it puts out a nice flow. I could plug this into the power station, but for now it's just simpler to run it off of a 12-volt little battery box. This is just 8 AA batteries connected in series, and this pump, it only draws 5 watts, and considering what short periods of time it'll be on for, I think it'll run a long time. So let's go back around the other side and I'll show you how the sink works. You got to turn the power on every time you want it, but it's not a big deal. I rigged up this little switch here, so you just open the valve, turn it on, and you've got running water. And that's about as much flow as I'd really want. I don't want a roaring fast flow because that just means I have to get water more frequently. The last thing that I built for the van is a small table which connects to the underside of the counter. So, extra workspace. And this is movable as far as position goes. If I want it to be closer in, so it sort of simulates a desk. One other comment about this unit here. This is my house battery power supply. It's an EcoFlow river unit. It's got about 700 watt hours of capacity. And of course I'll use that to charge my cooler. This is rechargeable from a 12-volt outlet I have in the back of the van. I can also connect it up to solar if I want to do that one day in the future. This is where the cooler sits, but this is not the actual one that I'm going to use for camping because this is a thermoelectric cooler and it just takes too much power. I've tested it on my battery bank and it draws 65 watts constant load, and that's just too much. It'll run my battery bank out in about 12 hours. So I've got a compressor fridge on order that will consume only about half of that. I also have a USB fan which attaches to the grab rail above the passenger seat. That is super quiet, moves a lot of air. It runs on low speed for probably 20 or 30 hours. One other thing that I have been concerned about is, what about bugs? So I went to Home Depot and got some regular fiberglass window screen material, cut 2 sections of it to fit around this open window area. I sewed the 2 pieces together, and these 2 sides fit over. All right, and then just to be anal about it, there's a little gap at the bottom here. Oops. It's a tiny little gap at the bottom here that I tighten up with 2 magnets. And then that is a tight bug screen. So I can open up the window completely and the bugs will stay out. One other thing that's important for camping in a vehicle like this is privacy, and so window coverings become an issue. I know a lot of people like to use Reflectix, and I thought about doing that, but I was thinking I wanted something a little more rigid, and when I stored it, it would store in nice, tight, flat panels so I could slip it somewhere and it wouldn't get all floppy. What I ended up using was this material called Coroplast, and it's essentially cardboard, except it's made from plastic. It's rigid without being too stiff. It's easy to cut and work with. I'm not covering the 2 front driver side and passenger side windows because that's where I want the mosquito screen to be. And for the front windshield, I'm just going to use a regular window insert that you can get at Walmart. But for these side windows, the 2 further back windows and the rear window, I made these panels and they just pop right in. Now, what you'll notice is it's not blackout. And I'm not too concerned about being stealthy. I don't plan on camping in any areas where I'm not welcome. It was really just privacy and ease of use for these panels. So I was real happy with the way these turned out. We'll see how they work. That's my van conversion. There's no perfect build, but I believe that the best camping vehicle is the one that's actually available to allow you to get out there and do more of what you want to do. Take care, and maybe I'll see you down the road.